Good evening, everyone. I'd like to officially call to order the May 12th, 2026 meeting of the O'Fallon, Missouri Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Elder is excused. Ms. Hawbaker.
Present.
Mr. Hester.
Present.
Mr. Coaster.
Present.
Mr. Tremmel.
Present.
Ms. Williams.
Present.
Ms. Wilson.
Present.
Councilmember Wexler.
Present.
All right. We officially have a quorum. Next up is Pledge of Allegiance. Teresa, would you like to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next item up on our agenda is approving the agenda. Everybody have a chance to review tonight's agenda in advance of the meeting?
Wilson.
I guess you're making a motion to approve? Awesome. Do we have a second?
Williams.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. The agenda is approved. Meeting minutes for April. Again, everyone should have been sent these in advance. Had an opportunity to review them. Are there any comments or questions about the meeting minutes? Okay, fantastic. I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Wilson.
Do I have a second?
Williams.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. We have meeting minutes for April 2026 officially on the record. Next item up on the agenda is citizen comments. Do we have any citizen comments tonight? All right. Moving on. No citizen comments tonight. Next up is our division reports, and as always, we'll start with the Parks report.
All right, good evening, everybody. Just quite a few things going on. Spring has been super busy. We have promoted some staff that I wanted to kind of just let you all know about, but David James, who has worked for the city for 23 years now, he was promoted to landscape superintendent. Landscape superintendent. He accepted that today, so he starts officially with that on Saturday. So we're pretty excited about that. He's been around to kind of see the progression of it. And then also Brian Kraft, he was promoted to park superintendent, and he's been with the city for 15 years as well. I would imagine you guys have seen him around. He's a super positive guy and can get a lot done for us. So again, excited about having him on board with us as well. Wanted to let you guys just give you an update. I think Bill has talked to you a little bit about this, but community library. We do have a group that we've started talking with. It's the St. Charles County Realtors Leadership Academy, and we're currently kind of going back and forth on just getting the design down for this project. The plan is to put it in Civic Park in front of Krekel Civic Center, so that's where we're looking at putting that at, and so it will include 2, maybe 3 logos. The first logo will be the St. Charles County Leadership Academy logo, and then the second logo is a local, they haven't selected it yet, but it will be a local realtor business. That would be the second logo, and I'm in the process of seeing if we can get our Parks and Rec logo added to that as well. The plan is to have that installed in October. They're kind of going through the process with several of the communities to get rolling with this, but we should have that up and ready for this fall. Does anybody have any questions on that?
You said they were working on a design? I thought we already had one.
The one they sent me a few weeks ago, we're just tweaking it a little bit. It has a pine bench, and where we're putting it, we already have a bench, so we're going to have that bench removed. It'll still be located by a bench. But we didn't want to have a pine bench attached to it. And then we haven't seen the proofs for the logos yet either.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, and then also just want to talk to you a little bit about landscaping as well up at Carshield Field. They worked with a bunch of volunteers to get the mulch down, and they planted over 1,200 flowers. My report says 200, but that was a typo. It was 1,200 flowers. So pretty excited about that. We do have some field closures coming up at Dames Park and Sports Park. So at Dames Park, May 30th through September 1st, we will be closing down Field 1. This is for our field maintenance where we're either sprigging or sodding areas, doing deep tine aeration, different things like that, really promoting the Bermuda to take off in time for fall activities. If you've been out to Dames recently, you might have noticed, but the corporate bandstand pavilion, we updated the barbecue grills out there. The ones that were previously there were in pretty poor shape. So last year we were able to do the back pavilion in Dames, and this year we completed the corporate pavilion. So that's been a nice upgrade for that location. If you haven't been up to Ozzy lately, please drive by and check it out. Like it's really coming to fruition there. The fields are looking beautiful. We still have some grass growing in places. We're going to kind of have another all hands on deck team go get them tomorrow at the park to kind of finish up some other items. But it really took a lot of the team. You know, Recreation did their part. Parks was out there getting irrigation fixed and doing a lot of the grading and dirt work as well to kind of finish up the project. Facility maintenance had a big involvement, and so did landscape. And I just want to thank all of those staff for being involved with that. It was a big deal for us. Already we're seeing big benefits with having the synthetic turf. You know, a lot of our tournaments would have been canceled that we've already had. And we had some big rains on the weekends the past few weeks, and we were able to play. It was great, and it's really busy up there, so we're happy about that. I'm not sure if any of you were able to make it, but we had the grand opening on April 28th, which Recreation did a great job getting that all set up, and we were lucky enough to have Ozzie Smith come out as well, so that was a pretty neat activity. All right, so for Sports Park, all fields except for fields 8 and 9 will be closed May 30th through September 1st. So again, just want to make you aware of that as well. And also that 200 flowers planted by landscape should be 1,200 there as well. Splash pads and water features were all opened in April, and as soon as we got them all open, then it cooled off for a little while, but it's starting to heat back up. But boy, we were getting a lot of calls when we had those early April 80-degree days to get those going. So we just had to make sure it wasn't going to freeze again. And then again, landscape division, they've really been doing a good job. They've been a little understaffed, but have really worked hard to kind of overcome that. Highway K clip site was all planted. The DD clip site was planted. They've mulched all the flower beds at Veterans Walk, City Hall, and also down at Renaud Center. And then it says be looking for the annual baskets to make it by mid-May, but they were put out earlier this week. So those are, I think it was late last week actually, but those are all out now. So really looking forward to seeing those really start to leaf out and bloom out as well. And that'll conclude my report.
I have a question about sports park closures. Now, does the all fields include the, I guess it's called an all-weather field, a big one?
It does
Two
not.
cricket pitch-
Yeah, all weather area will remain open, and so will the cricket fields, as well as fields 8 and 9.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay, very thorough. Lot to report. So, thank you. Appreciate it. Next up is the recreation report. Greg.
Thank you, Scott. The 2026 Park Passport is complete, and it's available. We'll be handing that out at the various city events. We kind of revamped the passport this year to focus a little bit on just getting people out and exploring the parks. As you go through it, you'll find some quick facts about each park and ideas of how to play and enjoy the park and that sort of thing. We finalized Power Your Play sponsorship with Gateway Fiber, especially for the Heritage and Freedom Fest. The partnership will support some of the sideshow entertainment along the boulevard. And they'll also provide some charging stations for the attendees. As Jeremy mentioned, the grand opening at Ozzy's for the new turf, artificial turf, was on April 28th. It was kind of neat where it rained like crazy all the way up until the mayor's speech, and then all the games started. So it was kind of neat to see that. Concessions team is doing a great job. Ozzy's been slammed. I think Katie will talk a little bit about that later. But they've been doing a great job. Summer camp is right around the corner. Training starts up next week. Let's see. Over at Alligators Creek, the lazy river is filled. We had a pump scare for the comp pool, but we got that fixed, and so that is filled. We're actually doing some deep water training with the lifeguards on Friday. That'll be a chilling experience. And leisure we're going to start filling leisure tomorrow. June 25th is we'll have a proclamation at the council meeting for the July Parks and Recreation Month. We would like anybody who's able to attend to be there. The council meeting starts at 7:30 and proclamations are usually right after that. And then if anybody hasn't heard, Danielle Rex is retiring. She's not retiring. I must have that on my mind. Danielle is resigning. She's taken a position with the Rockwood School District. So she'll be here until the 5th of June. Then she's off to the next chapter of her career. And that's all I have.
Good for her. Any questions or comments? None?
What was the date of the council meeting?
Yeah, what was that?
The council meeting is June 25th, and it's for the July Parks and Recreation Month. It's a thing put out by the National Recreation Parks Association. 7:30.
Yeah, I saw that. That's the email you sent out a couple weeks ago. Yeah, unfortunately, I'll be out of the country that time. But okay, well, if there are no comments or questions, thank you, Craig. We'll move on. Next item, tourism and festivals report.
Whiskers and Wags, we have that on May 2nd. There was 9 adoption agencies, which is a great response. We had good weather. We had good attendance. Everything went really well. I didn't hear about how many adoptions, but I know Jennifer's son got a dog, so I guess we know of one at least. Celebration of Lights, we bid out a new front entrance sign for Zumwalt. We got the bids back. We have chosen one. We're doing some discussion with them about redesigning. It didn't have a space for the City of O'Fallon Celebration of Lights, so we're kind of working through that. We've placed our light order already for this year. And we've, I'm going to say this a few times, I'm not going to like saying it. We verified our Dreamtime characters for the stroll dates. So, Jammin' starts on the 26th. Obviously, all our bands are ready to go. We've got all our vendors, the food trucks and everything ready to go. This year, the concession group will be doing the beer sales at the Jammin' concert. Food Truck Frenzy, we're again collecting some payments from the food truck vendors, but we've got them pretty much all listed out, ready to go. And we also have verified our Dreamtime characters for that as well. Heritage and Freedom Fest parade application is live. We're collecting money from the vendors for that. Jennifer's already, and her team has already had meetings with the police department and St. Charles Ambulance District. She's booked her ASL interpreter. Fireworks resolution went through council, so we'll have fireworks this year. Theater, we began removing all the supplies and everything from the theater space. Jennifer had her group up there, and a lot of the rec division people went up there and helped her also. We're trying to get it done by the end of this week so they can start demo up there. We've created a O'Fallon Theater Works troupe, singing troupe, so that we can kind of keep some of the actors and performers busy while we don't have productions. They did perform at the volunteer luncheon and also at the Ozzie Smith Sports reopening ceremony. Cultural Arts Commission, we'll speak about that a little bit later this meeting. The 2026 Shape of Community Review with Cultural Arts and City Council has happened. And with that, we've deinstalled the 2024 Shape of Community sculptures. I believe all of them at this point. There might still be one hanging out there. And all of the 2026 Shape of Community selections are under contract. So we'll be installing them. And again, I think a couple of them might have already been installed. City Gallery's artist reception was held on April 14th for John Bonnert and Linda O'Haron. Let's see, we did bring on a new recreation specialist for festivals and tourism, Grace Rogers. She started maybe 2 weeks ago. We offered and she accepted Hannah. Oh, dang it. Hannah, she'll be here next Monday, so she'll be our second one. Docent training and operations book update for the Healed Home and the Fort. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Craig. Any comments or questions for the festivals and tourism report? Fire away.
Greg, who's going to be the country western band for the 4th?
So one of them is Low Cash, and the other one I can't think of.
Okay,
I will find it out here in a little bit.
all right, I'm just asking.
Yep.
I know Kansas is going to be here, but I didn't know.
Kansas, Low Cash. We had 2 groups for the country, 2 headliners. Low Cash was one of them, and I'll find you the name on the other one.
Okay, I was just curious.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. We will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is old
Scott.
business.
If I can interrupt,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Laura Elena is the other country artist.
Laura Lena, the other.
Lauren Elena.
Lauren.
Oh, her. Thank you.
Okay. Are we good to move on? I'll take that as a yes. All right. Next item on the agenda is old business, and looks like we don't have any old business. So moving forward to new business, we got 2 items for tonight. First one is concessions and parties presentation by Caitlin Elzer. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great. How are you?
Perfect. I'm good. All right. So I have a presentation for you guys. Just going over some concessions and birthday parties. A lot of numbers. Just a little bit about me. My name is Katie Elzer. I'm the recreation specialist over concessions and birthday parties. I did the Disney College program not too long ago, so I got to go down to Disney World, do the internship for about a year, learned a lot about customer service and working for the company. Other than that, I like to do all things outside, running, sports, love to go to concerts, but just a little about me. So at the Renaud Center and Alligators Creek, we have different birthday party packages, mainly based on how many people they're expecting to be there. We do have 2 rooms at the Renaud Center. One holds up to 50 people, the other one holds up to 25. Alligators Creek, we only do the up to 25 people since we only have 1 party area out there. But included in all these parties are the cake, the drinks. They get to choose a theme for the party, which is corresponding to the plates, napkins, the cake. Also included are tablecloths, goodie bags. They get a party host who does all the setup and cleanup so that the parents don't have to worry about getting that all together for their kids' party, and they can just worry about showing up. So it's really stress-free for them, and I know a lot of party parents appreciate that they can have this service without worrying about getting all that together. A little comparison, 2024, we had 342 parties and had that a little over $84,000 in revenue. 2025, we had 308 and had $83,000 in revenue. I know to me it looks a little confusing since there's quite a handful of more in 2024 compared to 2025. Because of those different party packages, we had a lot more bashes last year, which were those more expensive ones. So those kind of weighed out the smaller ones. But yeah. This year, so far, we have a grand total of 134 that happened from January to April. So that compared to last year, we are cruising with the amount we have this year. A little stat is that there's 28.86% increase in revenue for parties so far, just alone from January to April this year compared to last year, January through April. And then talking about.
Do you want us to wait to ask questions, or do we?
If you have questions, go ahead.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Do you attribute that to? I mean, that's a pretty big increase. Anything different with advertising, promotions, pricing?
I did make little flyers that we put at the front desk of the Renaud Center that have the party packages because I know they get asked a lot of questions. So I think having that flyer just ready and available kind of pushed it, and just I don't know. I think just natural.
What's the age group that these parties are generally for?
I mean, they go as young as like just, a year old. I had one not too long ago that was actually a 50-year-old's birthday party. So, I mean, there's no cap, but it's usually around 6 to 12 years old is the range. All right. And then talking about concessions, as you see, 2024, we had a total of $280,000 in sales. And then 2025, we had $278,000, so not too big of a difference. The only really big difference is that we had a lot of rainouts last year. As you see, all 3 tournaments in March got rained out. 3 out of 4 tournaments in April also rained out. And then we had 8 rainout days and 1 tournament weekend in May. So that would explain at least the...
So it'll be really interesting to see what the concessions does this year.
Yes.
You could see a pretty noticeable increase in that.
Yes, so far,
for us.
we've had 4 open tournament weekends that 2 of them at least would have been probably canceled because of the rain, but since they weren't, we were able to do $8,500 in sales first weekend, then $11,000, $9,500, and $11,400 on the most recent weekend. And due to just some staffing problems, we weren't even able to open both stands last weekend. So to see that much in sales just from one stand being open each weekend is pretty crazy. But yeah, we're getting a lot of sales so far. And then just some what's new for the concessions. This year we brought burgers and cheeseburgers to the Aussie stands, which have so far surpassed hot dogs and brats in sales. Pretzels are still number 1, understandably. But those are doing really good. And then Alligators Creek, which is soon opening, will have cheese and pepperoni personal pan pizzas, which I'm really excited about. I think those are going to do great. And then this year we also have a new ice cream vendor who is a local vendor. That's Bite Me Candy Company. We're really excited to work with them. They're going to have some nice ice cream sandwiches, little cups of soft serve. But those should be a big hit. And then we've also brought energy drinks out to Aussie and the Creek, which have been doing pretty good as well, but just something different for people to have. And then we also have a concessions trailer in the works. This will be stationed at Jammin' and other different events in the city, which I'm sure you've heard about already. But this will sell the alcohol, prepackaged snacks, and other beverages that can be on a little mobile area.
Quick question. Are the concessions, because you said you could only open one, was it last week? Or are those volunteer staff? Or what?
It's staff.
Okay.
Yeah, just part-time
100% staff.
Yeah, part-time staff, mostly high schoolers.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all. Do we have any questions?
I have to ask about the birthday party for the 50-year-old in the goodie bag. What was in that?
All the goodie bags are the same. They just have a couple of treats like goldfish, Rice Krispie treat, and a couple little toys. So
That's what the 50-year-old got.
yeah.
Okay, terrific.
Any other questions for Caitlin? It's a great presentation. I have only one comment. You talked about concessions the whole time, but you didn't bring any snacks for us.
I know, I wish
I'm
I
listening
knew.
to you talk about the ice cream and the chips, and I'm like, what?
You just want to test the
I
alcohol card.
know.
Yeah, right.
I told you that.
I don't couldn't work. And are the burgers grilled? Oh, no.
They're put in a convection oven.
Oh. Well, I knew they weren't fried.
Personal pan pizzas,
They'll also be in a convection oven.
everything, huh? Well, I vote that we all go down to there and we can see how it's made.
Yeah, maybe we need to do that. No, fantastic. I appreciate it. I am very anxious to see what those numbers look like because of not having rainouts. And you'll have a good test this week. 'Cause I think we got rain coming in. So if you get this weekend's tournament in, that'll be saying something. Okay. If there are no other comments or questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And our second item for new business tonight is the Community Arts Commission Liaison.
I got to be honest, I'm coming down here because I don't want to hold the button down, so. My finger's sore from my report. Really, so when the Cultural Arts Commission was put into effect, it was done so by ordinance, and in that ordinance, it reflected that there should be a liaison from the Parks and Recreation Board to attend Cultural Arts Commission meetings so that they can report back to the Parks and Recreation Board. Teresa's been doing that for the past 10 years. She had mentioned something to me a little while back. I ignored it, hoping she would forget it and continue to go. But she has resigned that position. She's done her due diligence, and she has resigned. So with that, I feel there needs to be a discussion of whether the Parks and Recreation Board feels that that's a necessary thing. And then I will go to Cultural Arts Commission and ask them the same thing. And if there's agreement, or if we feel like that's not a necessary position to be had, then I will work to change the ordinance and remove that expectation. So that's really all I'm asking, is if we can have a quick discussion to decide if we feel that that position. The only thing I'd throw out there, and it's totally your decision, however this board wants to move forward. But I do feel that a lot, if not most, of what the Cultural Arts Commission does and is involved with involves parks or recreation to some extent. So I don't think we need to decide tonight, but I think we probably need to have a discussion to lead off how we want to move forward with this.
Teresa, do you want to share your experience with the group here?
I'm happy to. There really is not any particular thing for that person to do who sits on the commission. They're there specifically to listen to what's going on and then help with any questions about the parks or any, and all of the years that I've done it, I've only had twice people have asked me questions about the parks. In fact, I honestly believe that most of the people on the board don't even know why I'm there. They just don't know. And well,
You again.
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but it is an interesting, what they do is interesting. It's all about art and bringing more art into the city, which I find is very close to my heart, and it's something that I think is important. And yes, everything that they will be bringing to the city in the future probably will take place at parks. So there is a connection between the Parks Board and the Arts Commission. For the time that I was there, there just wasn't a lot for me to do. All of the information that I could gather there was always brought back to here through our normal staff reports. So there wasn't even, that wasn't even a requirement for me to do because they've got it all covered. So honestly, I do not see the merit of continuing having a person there unless somebody really just wants to go to another meeting. And like I said, I do find that the subject matter is interesting. We do talk about the art, like what they're putting into the hallway today, what they were putting up today, the new art displays, things like that, which I think is interesting. But if you don't have an interest for it, then, you know, it would be not.
And they meet bi-monthly, so 6 times a
Bi-monthly,
year.
correct. Mhm.
Okay. I would have questioned, Craig, for you, for clarification. The ordinance, the wording, you said you may have to go have the ordinance changed. I'm not 100% sure because it says, item F under section 120.110, in addition to a member of the city council who shall serve as the council liaison with the Cultural Arts Commission, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Parks and Recreation Board may each appoint one of their members to serve as liaison to the Cultural Arts Commission.
Oh, well,
I mean, so if I take that verbatim, may,
Right.
I don't know if there is any change.
okay.
Right.
That says you have a choice.
And so I would suggest that we maybe just sit on this for
Okay.
a month, not to just kick it down the road, but the next question would be, does it have to be a single appointed person? In other words, you know, it would be interesting. I wouldn't mind going to a meeting every now and then. I don't know if, you know, I'm the right person or passionate enough. I certainly, if it was needed, I would do it. But, you know, maybe everybody on here wants an opportunity to go to the meeting or take turns.
No, I think that absolutely can happen that way. And if there's a desire, we can certainly look at the role and see if that needs to change too. I mean, whatever, I kind of feel like whatever the Parks and Recreation Board, how we want to move forward with this.
Yeah.
I think we just need to make a decision and do it. But yeah, if it wants to be a revolving, I don't think that's a bad.
And I'm not suggesting to take the opportunity, if someone's passionate about it on this.
Well, the question I would have, forgetting the interest about it for a minute, in what ways does the Cultural Arts Commission affect parks?
Well, I think a lot of the decisions that they make is involved in parks, so.
In what way? How would they impact?
Well, for instance, the shape of community and where those sculptures are placed and the pads that are poured there and that sort of thing. I mean, a couple of events that we have are in the parks. So I think some of the decisions that the Cultural Arts Commission makes, I mean, I think they do affect Parks and Recreation and therefore should be involved with some of the decisions.
That's what I'm trying to sync up. It sounds like over almost 10 years, it only came up twice that it made a difference you were there. That's why, and I'm not belittling, I'm just saying, if it really does affect directly a park somewhere, then I don't know whether that should still be covered or not. But if it's a informational thing, that's a little different.
So when it comes down to those decisions, I mean, staff are involved with those decisions, obviously. So when we want to place the shape of community, I mean, staff does get involved because we need to make sure it's the right location or it's not affecting any other program or event or anything like that.
And that,
You know, this is the opportunity for the residents of O'Fallon to also be involved.
so using that as a great example, then would that type of decision be made on the spot, or is it the kind of thing that the city staff could then bring to this commission to say, hey, there are choices as to how we do this, and more or less update this group and get our feedback?
I think we would need some guidance on what decisions you want. We obviously can't bring every decision to, you know, between the two committees. So I think that's part of it too, is you know, what decisions are you, is the Parks and Recreation Board interested in making? You know, I mean, are you going to be, you know, concerned that the Shakespeare group that's coming in the fall down at the amphitheater, whether they have, whether they drive a truck down there and unload stuff or not. I mean, that might not be a decision you really care about, but, when we do fall into the arts, you might be interested on how many vendors there are and what is taking place, because that's a part of the park that you may be interested in making sure we're not causing more problems with or anything.
Well, that helps.
I think staff can make a lot of these decisions, and I think staff could probably do that, but I think this is, these committees are put together so that residents, you are representing residents, are part of some of these decisions. And if staff is making decisions that that you feel are not the best decisions, or maybe we're not thinking things, we're thinking more of an employee than as a resident, that's your opportunity to step in and say something.
The reason I'm asking all these questions is to force
Absolutely.
a little bit of a dialogue here. And just to back up for a second, when I first volunteered for this, I had asked the city administration, what are the most difficult, which boards and commissions are the most difficult to get volunteers to serve on? This was number one, this one. And number two was Public Works. And I don't know why that is, but this sounds like if it's difficult enough to get people to serve on it, another meeting doesn't necessarily help.
Right.
So I'm trying to be devil's advocate to also say that maybe there's a way that's in between that city staff might help us by observing when it does affect a park in a way that maybe, hey, time out, let's go find out from this board and have the city staff person come here.
Right.
If that wouldn't cause a problem. Maybe that's the hybrid solution.
The only thing I'd caution with that is our role. We're starting to. Are we getting out of our lane? You know what I mean? It's like we are here for a very specific reason, and we need to rely on staff to make those decisions. I totally hear what you're saying, by the way, but I would get worried that if we said, well, if you feel something's important, you need to bring it back to this group. That would be a substantial change from how it was done in the past, where there's a.
Very time consuming.
Right. Now we're delaying it another month and decisions aren't getting made. And I would hate to do that to.
You're making the argument to have somebody as a liaison,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Even as rare as it is, I just would hate to come up. I'd hate for us to create another step in a process.
I think you just answered the question then.
And I would like to add that nothing at the Arts Commission is done in a blind. The staff is involved in every step of the way, and we're an advisory committee, and they're a little involved a little differently, but they do a lot of discussion about what they want. But the city is the people who decide exactly what they can and cannot do with what they come up with from the Arts Commission, and it's worked as a team between the city and the Arts Commission. So it's worked out very well. They do a good job. And like I said, it's something that is intended to beautify our community and to bring arts to our community, which I think is a really good cause. So if anybody does have an interest in that, by all means, if you want to be involved. I loved your idea of having each member maybe just go to one meeting, because I think it's a good idea for y'all to know what is going on and what is being discussed, how it works. And I just think it's a good idea for us all to know that. So if you want to continue to do that, but to actually have a person assigned to that, in my opinion, I just don't think it's necessary, because I think it's stuff that's already being done. We are already being brought the information from the city, and there really isn't a lot of information that we can get to the Arts Commission that the city can't provide right then and there at the meeting.
Is there anyone on advisory committee that has a passion where they'd want to be that sole person? And if not, is everyone comfortable with the option of having a rotating sort of attendance? I think that's your answer.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so how will we be informed of when those meetings are and dates and times? And
Let me talk with John and we'll send out an email, and maybe we can kind of create a sign-up list or something like that.
Yeah, something, or just,
I believe the cultural arts is the first Wednesday of the month.
Yeah, it's the first Wednesday of the month, and it's not exactly every other month. So like they meet in April, June, August, but
yeah,
they
they
take
just-
like basically the whole winter off. They don't have any meetings November through February.
So they just changed that, John.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's every even month now. They did that, just found that they were gone too long when they took the
Yeah.
winter off. So they switched it now. So it is every even month. And what we can do is, I guess you'll have the reminder email out after that. So we will maybe try to set up a sign-up list or maybe a reminder email, and maybe somebody can just volunteer for it. Let us kick it around, and then maybe we'll send out an email and see what you guys think.
and it's a public meeting, so it's like this entire group could go if you wanted to, so it's
Yes.
not like we have
Yeah.
to, be that strict with,
Well, also,
You can heckle them from the crowd, so.
So you don't want to overwhelm or outnumber the commission, right?
also, Craig, I think that, have we decided that we don't have to have a liaison because of the word may in that ordinance?
I'll have to reread it.
Okay.
I
Because we may
apologize
be
because
just
I
talking
thought I
about
had
something
read
that-
it. And
Yeah, that's what I'm reading it.
Yeah.
It just says, may each appoint one of their members to serve as liaison.
But like I said, if we feel like there's not a value to it, I'm not trying to talk anybody into this or talk anybody out of it. I think we just need to figure out what we want to do. And then, I need to go to the cultural arts and see if they have a problem with it. I don't know if they would or not, or have any feelings one way or another, and then go from there.
Do we have a consensus here that because I'd like him to walk away tonight knowing exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah, dude, I think the suggestion is that we provide a rotating sort of attendance from
Okay.
this group. You will send us the meeting dates, and we can coordinate somehow to sign it up, or, let people choose or pick or whatever.
Yep.
And when you go to a meeting, when you went to a meeting, were you seated as part of the group up here? Okay,
I'm always the
okay,
last chair over there.
okay, okay.
I wasn't, sequestered.
For sure, yeah. I didn't know if it's just more you're in attendance in the crowd, or if you're, okay. Well, check to see if that's okay, and you might want to double check the wording, obviously, with legal, but, I mean, I'm pretty black and white. The way I read it, it says the word may means may.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate everyone's input. Everybody's happy with that decision? We're all good? Okay. All right. We're about done. Moving on. For the good of the order, does anybody have any comments they'd like to share with the group tonight?
Just a quick one on Ozzie Smith again, thanking everybody who was involved in that project, because I was there Saturday last weekend. It was packed. The shade trees were nice. They were able to give a little bit of shade because it started to get hot during the day there. And I imagine in July and August, that place is really hot. So concession stands, that's great that all the sales were done. It was busy. So very impressive what you guys did out there.
I'll tag team on that as well. I'm just super excited for the community. I think I mentioned it last month, but I have a question, actually, just a comment. It's just a general question. Do we know so far, are we getting a lot of out-of-town teams that are participating? In other words, like you would think that with the turf, we'd get a broader reach now with participation.
Dalton's trying to work with the tournament directors to try to get some answers from that.
Yeah.
The data we're getting, I can't say but it does seem like we're definitely getting more teams from out of town.
That's great, because that has a direct impact on the city economy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Anyone else? Okay, well, if there are no other comments,
Scott, real quick,
Yes.
before we adjourn, I just want to mention that at the June meeting for this board, that's when we do our annual reelection of the officer positions. So president, vice president, and secretary. If there's anybody that feels strongly about continuing or somebody that's not in one of those positions now that would really like to be, feel free to shoot me an email before next time. And then at the June meeting would be when we would make those decisions and vote on that.
Yeah, and as the sitting president, I have no exception if somebody would like to take the role. I mean, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. I don't mind it, but at the same time, I don't want someone to be thinking, "Gee, Scott, why don't you?" Okay, all right, just thought I'd bring it up.
Experience is good.
Okay, well, only to a certain point, right? And I feel like at some point I'm starting to get I don't want to overstay the welcome, as I say. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Well, then, do I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Wilson.
I have a second? Williams. All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Meeting adjourned.